All right. Another week, another episode of the Centre Circle podcast. I'm here with Keith and Isaac. How you doing, boys?
Not bad at all.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah,
You lot all right, No Prem this weekend. Liverpool can't mash up your weekend, huh?
Anyway,
We move.
moving on.
But let me enjoy it. I'm not going to be able to enjoy it for long, innit? I'm not going to be able to enjoy it for long. So as I said, no Premiership games this weekend. World Cup qualifiers are reaching their conclusions, which is a good thing for some teams. Not so good thing for some teams, which has led to them grumbling about things that has nothing to do with how they played on the pitch. Italy. We'll come to that later. And a couple of us, our beloved Nigeria, scrapping it out as we record, just to get in the playoff. Not to qualify, just to get in the playoff. But of course, we'll start with England's 2 games. Most recently today against Albania, away match against Albania, which England won 2-0. 2 goals from Harry Kane, I believe.
That's right.
Marcus Rashford on an assist.
Yep.
Just to make sure that they know about that.
He's not doing himself any harm, is he, this season? Funny that. Outside of Manchester and stuff's going well. I saw the first half. Keith, how do you think England played today? Was it another step in the Tuchel plan? And we'll talk about the game earlier in the week as well. But
I think today was just trying to get through the qualification group without conceding and getting 100% win record. I think he made 6 or 7 changes from the team that beat Serbia on Thursday.
Yeah, but he kept the spine the same, didn't he?
Yeah. He did.
So Stones, Rice, Kane, and the keeper. Yeah.
No, Henderson actually started
Henderson,
today.
So
Actually started today.
Bellingham was there.
Yeah.
Kept him.
Which is good, just because I think Pickford's played a lot of games, but just in case he does get injured, it's good that Henderson knows how to play with the defence. It was really just run of the mill, to be honest. The first half wasn't exceptional. You had players like Dan Burn come in. I'm still a bit hesitant on Dan Burn at playing at international level. I know you guys think I've got an agenda against Mr. Burn, but
no, we don't think. It's on record, bro. It's not a thing. It's on record.
There's a whole dossier.
Listen, we got clips.
That's fair, but if you look at the other English centre-backs out there, I think there's others who should be ahead of him. But I'm not the one picking the team. He's one of Tuchel's guys, so you know what I mean. I'm gonna get behind the choice. Nico is doing well in terms of, I wouldn't say he's securing that left back spot, but there's
not really much competition, is
there?
So
there was
all he has to do is just stay fit.
There was a bit of contention with Lewis Skelly when Tuchel came out and said, "Oh, he's not playing many games," and then
but it's fair.
People were like, "Well, John Stones only started 2 games this season," but you've got to look at credit in the bank a little bit. John Stones rarely puts a foot wrong for England when he plays, and Lewis Skelly, for as talented as he is, he hasn't been playing enough this season for him to warrant getting the call up.
And I think people miss, to your point, I think people miss the fact that if there was a John Stones for left back, so if there was someone of John Stones' stature in that position, they'd play.
Yes, of course.
And then it would have been Nico O'Reilly coming on, or maybe starting the Albania game instead, right? So I have no issues with that. If Miles Skelly, get back in the Arsenal team first, get Calafiori out of there, and then you can.
Yeah, of course. And he'll be at England international for years to come anyway. So I don't think he should be too downcast on his exclusion from the England squad. Bellingham was okay in the first half. What I don't like around the Bellingham hype is there seems to be a lot of off-field narrative creeping into commentary and just in general, which I don't like. Yeah, but we've covered that to death. Harry Kane, take a break, man. Take a break. Like we'll talk about Thursday's game, but there were incidents where the England were attacking. He challenged for a ball on the Serbian box. Ball broke, they countered, and he made the tackle in the England box when Serbia were counter-attack. And I love that he's passionate and he plays at full throttle, but he's getting at an age where he just needs to slow down a bit. especially for England, I think you've got enough players in the team for you not to do that. But if he's been told to do that, who am I to argue?
Well, and again, I think he's of the stature now. He can do it if he wants. Thomas Tuchel might not like it either, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna come in and tell someone of Harry Kane's stature? I'm sure Harry Kane would listen, but I guess it's part of his game. It's part of his game.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think first half wasn't amazing. There was a lot of short, sharp, trying to play between the lines, which was kind of great for sucking Albania in, but then they weren't taking advantage of it by going a little bit medium. I'm not going to say long, but going a little bit medium. You would see runs, people, after they've played 2 or 3 passes and they've kind of sucked the Serbian team in, you would see runs in behind and they wouldn't make the pass. They would recycle again, or they would go all the way around to the other side, etc. So there was a little bit of urgency that I think was missing, and they could have probably punished Albania a bit earlier, but they were well organised. Albania was well organised. They hadn't lost in that 5 games. They hadn't lost at home in some time as well. So England wasn't going to go there and sweep them. So yeah. And as you say, Tuchel talked about it in the week and said, look, no stupid red cards or bookings, because that now leads
Carries
on
over into the World Cup.
Yeah. I mean, look at Cristiano. This weekend he's got himself in a bit of a pickle now. He might miss the first game and get some people to stake a claim. I think some of his subs were interesting. I don't want to read too much into them, but it felt like he got to a point where he was like, actually, I need some of the I don't want to say the A team on, but he got Rashford on. Saka came on, Foden came on. Saka and Foden came on relatively early, 62 minutes. And then Rashford and Anderson kind of made a 75th minute appearance. So he still didn't feel like he could kill the game off with that team he picked. But yeah, functional. I think England control games a little bit better, but they always go through qualifiers fine. Gareth Southgate, they've had a problem with qualifiers, right? We need to see what they do in the main competition. And I think Thursday was more of the same really for England.
Do you think we've seen, or do you think he knows what his strongest 11 is?
I think he knows what his strongest 11 is based on how everyone's playing today. Yeah, I do. If you asked him does he know what his strongest 11 is in the World Cup, what I would expect him to say is no, because we've seen people develop over a season, become important over a season, lose importance over a season. I love Marcus Lewis Skelly, but what if he can't have another season so I think today now, yeah, you can see his favourite 11 almost.
I don't think he knows his full 11. I think there's maybe 8 positions with 3 up for grabs.
What 3 do you think he doesn't know?
I think he's still unsure on the 10. I think if Rodgers continues his form in the season,
yep,
I think it will be a toss-up between him and Bellingham.
That's what I mean. Today, now, that's Rodgers. That's the team that played on Thursday.
And the fullbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Reece James is fit. I think he probably nailed on, but
yep,
fitness. Left back, we don't know yet because there's a few options. Skelly, O'Reilly, Livramento, possibly Hall. We never know. And then it might be Wharton or Anderson. So
I think Anderson was
I'd
that
say
race. I think right now Anderson's winning that race for him.
I say 8 out of 11.
Yeah. The only reason I say that is because when he's had to pick, the team for the game that's important, we see the people he's picked. There's a reason he chose Anderson over Wharton, despite where their respective teams are, how they've played. So I think for what he wants to do, I think he's made it pretty clear who he prefers where today, in my opinion.
But what might be a key indicator is that in the pre-match press conference, Harry Kane said there's a leadership group within Tuchel's England squad.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Kane, Mark Gahey, Declan Rice, Bellingham, and those 4.
There's no way.
And Saka.
There's no way Hendo's not in that leadership.
No, that's it. Those 5.
Captain Fantastic.
So that might be a key indicator of the start of the. And you would say that they could be 5 starters. So,
that is 5 starters. If Gay was fit, he plays today.
Yeah, definitely. So it's quite interesting that he's even done that, even though he's there for a finite amount of time. He could have just let Harry Kane sort it
Yeah,
out,
fair,
etc.
bruv. Do everything you can to win the World Cup, bruv. If you're the manager that wins the World Cup with England after all this time, listen, they'll be carrying him over London Bridge, mate. You mad. Imagine that. Imagine that. All right. And look, we're at the point now where we pretty much know the large bulk of qualifiers. As I said, there's a few people that haven't made it through. Let's talk about some of the notable teams that have already qualified. So obviously the host nations, USA, Canada, and Mexico. I thought they were stopping that. Did I imagine that?
They did at one point stop it. I
They did
didn't
stop
know
it,
they'd
didn't they?
reinstated it.
I know they're stopping it for the Euros because England, Wales, and Ireland and Scotland have to qualify for the Euros in 2028.
Imagine that. Imagine hosting a tournament you
and
didn't
not
qualify for
being
it.
there.
That's mad. Wait. Is that actually mad or is that just because I'm used to it?
No, it's mad. It's
No,
mad.
I think you should be there, innit? Because
Why?
like the
From a footballing point of view, why?
atmosphere. So Euro 2028, yeah, the first game's in
No,
Wales,
he's got a point.
Cardiff. Imagine if like Wales were opening that game.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere would just be crazy.
Yeah, but that's not a footballing point of view, though. That's my point.
No,
But no,
it
but
kind of is because you want as much atmosphere and excitement and passion in the World Cup. There's no one's gonna bring that excitement and passion and atmosphere like the home nation.
And we've seen it. South Africa, Vuvuzelas going off
Mental.
for 90 minutes.
Mental.
Even South Korea and Japan. Like,
Yeah, I guess so. I feel like that's always relative to the team on the pitch, innit? Whenever
Yeah.
Brazil are playing, it's mental. Wherever.
Yeah. But that's a given.
Even
But
whoever, England, wherever they're playing, it's mental. So that's why I'm.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
But you know what it is? It's a guaranteed narrative, isn't it, for a tournament? If the host nation is there, there's something we can play off of. We can sell money, we can sponsor, we can market, etc. It's guaranteed.
But I think that you should earn that from qualified. that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And imagine your country that doesn't qualify for 10, 20 years, but all of a sudden you get the World Cup because you're hosting it.
Lovely.
Yeah, man. San Marino should do what they did it.
Hey, they can still qualify.
Yeah, true. So yeah, the hosts USA, Canada, and Mexico. From Europe, UEFA, so to speak. England, France, Croatia, and Portugal. And then we've got the playoffs. The playoffs with Albania, Czech Republic, Northern Ireland, Sweden, and Ireland. What other notable teams? South America, all the usual suspects are there. Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, who I think are quite perennial. Colombia and Ecuador. And then Bolivia in the playoffs. And then from Africa, you've got Morocco, Tunisia, who else is there? Ghana, Cape Verde, I think are making an appearance at their first World Cup.
Yep.
And they have not been playing. Not been playing in this qualifying group. And I always wonder, what's changed this time? It's only been, a few years. What's changed? But we'll have to see. Maybe they've got some passport players, you know them? Only joking, don't come for me. I'm really joking. And then, as it stands, Nigeria have not qualified and are playing a playoff to get in the playoff.
Yep.
So, yeah, we might not be there in America, Mexico, or Canada.
so how much of a failing is it if Nigeria don't qualify?
Massive.
Colossal.
Massive.
Is it the equivalent of
England
not qualifying
Yeah.
from UEFA?
Yeah.
It depends who you ask, I think.
No, but it is. All right, it's not the same in terms of the quality maybe of the opponent, but in relation to their continent
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
think
what
so.
each country means to the continent
Yeah.
and the region that they come out of, it's massive. It's the same.
Because if we think about it, you've got some of the North African countries that are almost mainstays. So between Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt and Algeria, there's for a couple of them guys qualify all the time, right? But then after that, you've really got kind of Nigeria, Senegal, I would say.
Yeah, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal,
I
Ivory
wouldn't put
Coast.
Ghana, but okay.
Get out of it. Ghana. Those are the six, really.
SA? You want to put SA there? Yeah, it's
They're like right underneath.
Yeah. So the same way now, Italy not qualified for the World Cup. We got used to it generationally because it's like the third time in our life that ever. But normally you'd expect them. It's the same thing. So if England don't qualify or Italy don't qualify or I was going to say France, that doesn't happen.
of that
Germany,
ilk. It's of that ilk,
Nigeria not qualified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be to the Western world.
No, but within that group,
Yeah, but
to Africa?
I asked it to get it in context of another
yeah,
nation.
100%. It's massive.
Another confederation.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive, especially when you see some of the other, someone like Cape Verde qualifying. Do you know what I mean? It's massive. So let's see what comes out of that. And then talking about those that haven't qualified, we've already mentioned Italy, which led to some interesting conversations. Another noticeable one I saw was, I think, Hungary.
Yeah, Ireland.
When they
Losing to
qualified.
Ireland.
Yeah, they lost to Ireland. In what was a dramatic. I mean, it doesn't get much more dramatic than that. That was NBA style.
Yeah,
dramatic.
like, what
Buzzer
a
beater
way
style, innit?
to secure, and it's not, to be fair, they haven't actually secured promotion. They've just secured a playoff spot.
Yeah, playoff spot.
But
you're still in with a chance. You still got a ticket.
to get a hat trick, and your hat trick goal is a winning goal in the last minute. Hey, come on, that is
after you were losing 2-1.
Exactly, and those are the things are like the boyhood dreams.
Yeah,
like,
imagine
you dream about that moment.
And if you've ever played like football for a team or whatever, you understand. I always say this: it's the 95th minute. The guy has scored, but he had the energy to sprint to the halfway line to celebrate the team. But only the adrenaline of scoring that goal can do that for you. And it was a hat-trick goal as well. So yeah, that's serious stuff. Obviously, Hungary, they got a few big players in their team. That's going to be disappointing for them. Who else is there?
Is Georgia a big miss? I mean, not really.
They're intermittent, innit? They're intermittent. I was going to say, Scotland. They lost to Greece this qualifying round. However, the other results went their way, so they've gone out. They're going to go to a last match shootout with Denmark, who are 1 point ahead of them in their table. So they're still in with a chance of qualifying. But I think the one that has caused the most chatter is Italy, right? And I saw a couple of things around the Italy, a couple of fallouts from Italy not qualifying. Number one was Italy's manager, Gennaro Gattuso.
It's not that they've not qualified; they've not got automatic.
They've not got automatic qualification.
Yeah, they've gone.
So they haven't qualified automatically.
Yes, that's
which
what
is
he's
a big thing
complaining
there,
about.
especially the stuff that's happened in recent tournaments. That's a big thing. And he thought it was worth pointing out that he feels like some other federations have too many qualifying places, and that it's not fair that they have so many qualifying places and they can win 7 out of their, or they can win 6 out of their 7 games and still not qualify automatically, because Norway, who lead their group, have won every single game. They've got basically 100% record to date, and it's not gone down well. It's not gone down well. He's effectively said Africa needs less places. So that's one, and Isaac, I'll come to you on that one. And then the second one I saw a couple of Italy fans on social media dissecting the South American qualification process and how many places they have and why did they get so many places, etc., etc., etc. So, sour grapes, or do they have a point? What is it?
No, it's just sour grapes, man. I mean, let's be honest. The allocation of spots are the way they are for a reason. And most people, or most people in positions of just deniability, a lack of accountability, essentially, and just in denial, are going to come out with statements like Gattuso. I mean, if you actually sit down and look at the way things have been allocated, it's actually quite proportional and quite fair. I mean, UEFA and CONMEBOL have the most allocation spots in terms of, in proportion to the members, because of performance.
Yeah.
How they, it's CONMEBOL have produced 10 different. They've got 10 members. They've got 10 winners. I think it was. Let me just double check, make sure I've got the right stats. CONMEBOL, only 10 teams, but they've got 10 World Cup wins, right? UEFA have, I think it's 5 World Cup wins from their, how many members? 5 winning nations, 12 World Cup wins. So, based on historical performance, you can understand why they have so many spots. Obviously, also the level of the teams within each federation. So if you look at CONMEBOL, you've got Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia. They're all very decent teams. If you go based on the 10 members, if you look in UEFA, they've also got England, Italy, France, Germany, Belgium, Holland, or the Netherlands. Like, you can understand why each nation has so many spots. You look at Africa and the number of spots that they have proportionally, you can understand why. They've got so many members, so therefore we'll give them more spots. It just, in proportion to the nation, the size of the nation, it makes sense. Asia, Oceania, and CAF. CAF is Asia, Oceania is...
CONCACAF.
No, there's CAF. That's it, CONCACAF. You're right, sorry. They've all got very limited spots, again, based on what they've produced. So that's why I just say it just sounds like a bad worker who blames their tools.
Yeah, very
You
much
haven't
so.
done your job, and now you're just trying to point the finger at FIFA rather than just say, look, we didn't do what we were meant to do, and that was qualify automatically. Everyone has the same opportunity.
And he's also got to take into consideration that the World Cup's gone from 32 to 48
And this is it.
nations. So naturally, the other federations are going to get more spots. That's just the way it is. And if you go back 4 years, Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup when there were less qualifying spots. So I really don't understand his argument.
No, it sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, very very much so.
You know, a Gattuso problem.
And if you look at their group, when they get drawn with Norway, Israel, and other lesser nations, in quotation mark, you would expect Italy to come out top of that group. I know they haven't got the riches of players that they once did, but they're current European champions.
Yeah.
So,
and to be fair, you could say that about most nations. The talent pool for most nations is actually it's actually reduced. There aren't many like top class players coming out of each region. One question I will pose is, even though the majority or most people will think this is a fair allocation, do you think there should be some sort of reform to the way in which federations are allocated World Cup spots?
I don't think the allocation should be based on how a small number of nations have performed. So you take Europe, for example, you said we've got 5 nations that have won it 12 times, but there are 44 countries in Europe.
Yeah.
Where in Africa, you've got 50 plus countries. I think it's 56.
Yeah.
If my maths is right.
There's 54 countries in these qualifying groups.
Yeah. So why are continents with bigger number of nations penalised because they haven't won a particular trophy? I just think if you've got a larger number of countries there, then
proportionally,
yeah, it should be based on proportion. And
but
not
again,
just
by my maths, they've got less places.
Well,
Africa's actually got less places.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they should have an equal amount, or you know what I mean.
In proportion to the number of members, I think Africa's is 5.4, and if you do Europe, which is 3.4, Africa have got in proportion the largest amount of places.
Okay, they have. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so there's I look at there's 9 groups. Obviously the top goes through. They have second places and there'll be a playoff.
Outside of Europe, sorry.
Yeah,
outside of Europe.
Outside of Europe, they got but Europe has the most proportion to members. I think the interesting thing would be if he could articulate, because the problem is, and he has to be aware, and by the way, if anyone knows Gattuso's history, he doesn't care. He just says what he wants to say, and he has said some questionable things in the past. He has to articulate why he chose Africa and not South America like the other.
No, well, to be fair, again, like I said, I think what's happened is the outlets have just used that statement for clickbait. Because if you actually look at his statement in totality, he does talk about CONMEBOL, he does talk about Africa, he does talk about he kind of brushes over the other regions. His point is basically, why can't Italy automatically qualify? And
Yeah,
then
but-
the way he's articulated it, he's not really.
Yeah, but when you say stuff like in 1990 and 1984, there were 2 African
Yeah,
teams. Now there are 9.
yeah.
So there's more. Yeah, there's more.
No, I get what
Walk
you're
above
saying.
road, yeah.
I get what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying, and I'm not trying to shoot and bail, but essentially what I'm trying to say is it was a wider statement. I think the media outlets have just used it as clickbait because look what it's done. It's picking up traction. Everyone thinks, oh, he's just going against the Africans. Well, not really. He's going against FIFA in general.
Yeah.
And you'll never win.
Well, I think the simple man, win your games, bro. Do your job. I think and they've done a lot. To be fair, they've done quite a bit to try and change things, right? We've gone from the days of England, of San Marino playing England and getting slapped 12-0 and all these people. We've moved on from that time, and even in Italy's group. I mean, look at the teams in Italy's group, right? So you had Norway, who have finished first, Italy second, Israel third, Estonia fourth, Moldova fifth. So they're in their mind, they're thinking, oh yeah, this must be enough. But everyone knows the rules are not different for anybody else. Finish top of your group, or you go in the playoffs. And the irony of this is, if Italy had, and it'd be good to see the coefficient and all that, but because of the history, they were probably the top ranked. They're probably the top ranked group in that team. I mean, top ranked team in that group. Because Norway, when's the last time Norway qualified for a World Cup or Euros?
Not that I can remember any time recently.
So even from so you're even underperforming your.
Yeah.
And
I'll go back to Isaac's point about the talent pool not being good at the higher nations.
Yeah.
It relates to the smaller nations getting better.
Yes.
So if you kind of run through the groups, Germany are top of their group with Slovakia, 12 points each. They've got a 1-game shootout in the next fixture. If Slovakia win that, that's like, wow, Slovakia beating Germany to the number 1 spot in their group. Kosovo was a second in their group. We've got Denmark winning groups who haven't always qualified for competitions. Who else we got here? Let's see. Finland almost pipped Poland to qualifying. And we got North Macedonia second in their group. So the smaller nations, they're getting better. And
yeah, as players go out and play in certain leagues
This
and
is
all
it.
that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, as Isaac said at the beginning, sour grapes.
Yeah.
Sour grapes. Well, look, England march on. Yeah, lots of countries are ready to settle down. Some people are disappointed this weekend. Playoffs may save some of them.
they can book their summer holiday, innit?
Wow. Not yet. It's got some playoffs to play. And just for that, I hope Italy don't make it. Anyway. And yeah, let's see how the cookie crumbles and see if there's going to be some soul searching in Nigeria after today. We'll be back next week with the return of the Premiership. Peace.
Peace.